Stud Muffin 1986 here. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I wanted to do an interesting and very controversial video. It's been talked about for many years within Blitz and sometimes is continually brought up. Just wanted to go over a very in-depth explanation of this topic, which is explaining if artillery were to actually be in Blitz, to give hopefully some perspective to both sides of this conversation and really go into explaining the changes, the impact artillery would have in the game. Would it be a good thing? Would it not be a good thing? And so hopefully people can find their answers all within this video that I'm making. And so first of all, going into artillery has a very unique role and is definitely not played like any other tank in Blitz. The whole role of artillery is meant to provide supporting fire for your team by raining down fire down upon the enemy from a great distance away. Artillery has barely any armor, if any. Second of all, they actually have among the worst hit point pool of the entire game. Number three is they have two views of aiming, just like every other tank in Blitz does, except theirs is more unique in the way you do have the third person point of view, like everyone knows of, but the second one, unique to artillery, is the bird's eye view of going around across the map, looking down upon areas, trying to get those shots off, especially if there's a group of tanks. The splash radius and damage of an artillery shell is also very detrimental. Now, the whole aiming mechanics, the mechanism behind it, is actually quite rough. It's not a very accurate tank. And if you look at artillery, when it's in its third-person firing view, its aiming is absolutely horrendous. Your aim circle is massive. You cannot go into your in-tank view like you can with every other tank and try to get a shot off. I mean, it literally would be a miracle if you could get a shot off with artillery in a third-person point of view. The artillery reload time is astronomically long. A lot of it has to do with the balancing mechanism, just because the artillery is so extremely derpy. Maneuverability is very meh. And so you take into consideration all these different aspects, and that hopefully explains why artillery is played the way it is. If you put an artillery tank on the front lines, you will get astronomically just destroyed. So with artillery, you're dead after basically like two, maybe even one hit, depending on what you get hit by, which goes into show how detrimental it is for artillery to get detected. So now that we kind of understand what an artillery tank is, its role, how it's played, the dynamics and everything, now let's see what would this look like if you actually put an artillery tank into Blitz. So first off, when you're looking at a Blitz map, I tried to do as much research as I possibly could to find out the size comparison, going through forums, and a World of Tanks PC map is, when you look at them, broken up into grids. Each grid square, on average, is roughly about 100 meters. And when you look at World of Tanks Blitz map, the entire thing, on average, they all fluctuate. They seem to be about 500 meters by 500 meters. So when you put a Blitz map on top of a PC map, you could definitely see the size comparison, that it is about 1/4 the size, which is a lot smaller. And where Blitz is a much quicker, faster paced game, there's way less time on the clock. there's much smaller teams, and with the heavy amount of reload, and also just trying to aim. I mean, it's not incredibly easy. If you go in and actually look at the World of Tanks artillery videos, the thing is not extremely easy. It really takes a lot of time to try to get down. It's not very accurate. But if you also look at the map dynamics of Blitz compared to World of Tanks PC maps are they're way more open. They're obviously much more built to be a little bit more artillery friendly. Blitz maps, if you look at these maps, they're way more closer together. There's a little bit more clutter. There's bigger hills. There's way less large open area. And if you look at the dynamic of how an artillery shell or an artillery cannon works, is it points itself directly up in the sky and has the trajectory of the shell go up, almost kind of like a rainbow effect, and then come back down upon the enemy. But the problem with that in relation to a Blitz map is, with everything being like so tall, closer together, more compact, is that when you're trying to get that angle, that forward motion angle arc of the shell coming down, you can't directly hit a lot of things behind tall hills or buildings. Just because of that arc, you need more open space for that shell to be able to go down directly on a enemy tank. So basically, all in all, just to sum everything up, with the smaller map sizes, the smaller teams, the dynamic of how Blitz focuses on having fast gameplay, closer together, more CQB, just that close quarter combat, quick games, artillery just doesn't quite support this goal in mind with Blitz. And there's even some people that would mention, well, artillery helps prevent camping. But if you look at the videos, look what the artillery tank is doing. I mean, even from the other perspective of, oh, it helps people not camp because you can't really stay in one location very long. What's the artillery tank doing? The artillery tank is still camping. And when you have maybe 3 artillery tanks on your team, the game is very static, and it doesn't make it as mobile and close quarter combat. You don't have that same flexibility that you do with just having a tank destroyer or a light tank, medium, heavy tank. You just can't really put these things in and have it align with Wargaming's goal of having more of a fast-paced, action-packed game. Artillery, the reason why it would change the dynamic of it so much and be critical is because it would just dramatically slow the pace of the game down. It would actually cause more camping, more hiding, and that is not what Blitz wants. Not to mention, there's already enough people complaining about the 183. Do you really think that they're going to be putting artillery in? So anyway, Studmuffin 1986 here. Please subscribe for more awesome videos. Hope to see you guys out there on the field, and keep tanking.